Hello everybody, my name is Marlow. Today I'm going to teach you how to build this rather unique looking hanging house. First things first, we have to scout out an area to build the base in, and what we're really looking for is some sort of mountainous region with a flat surface to hang the house from. A little bit like what I've got going on here. Doesn't necessarily have to be quite as flat as this, but if you do like the look of this area, then here is the seed of the world, as well as the coordinates of whereabout it's located, which is actually the same as the waterfall base we built a couple of weeks back just over there, if you guys can remember that one. So this is our materials list for the build, inside and out, and everything is to the exact number needed apart from these spruce planks at the top here. They are pretty tricky to count up to the precise figure, so I've done some rounding here. Plus it's always handy to have a little bit extra in case you lose some of these other blocks. But gather together all this and now we're going to start building. Something I would recommend doing is building yourself a platform to stand on, because I'm assuming most of you building this aren't going to be doing it in creative and instead survival, so you won't be able to fly around like I am here, but you can use some scaffolding or the old school scaffolding of dirt, whatever it is, as long as you can stand on it. But to begin with now, we're going to mark out the center of our home. So obviously we'll need to do a bit more pillaring up, but we're going to mark it with just any block there and then come out one diagonally on each of the four corners and mark them with a grindstone. You can see I'm leaving a block of 3 in between each of the grindstones and then one diagonally from the middle. We can now go ahead and get rid of that. We can then grab the rest of our grindstones and bring them on down by 7 more on each of the ones we've already placed. So let's take this one for example here, and we're not going to place them just directly down like that. No, we're going to break them and we're going to bring them down in a crisscross fashion. So we've got 1 up the top there. There's 2, there's 3, there's 4, so you can see we're rotating as we do it. And then there's 5, 6, 7, and then 8, and it makes this pretty cool chain effect. So once we've got all of them in place, that is what's going to be hanging up our house. Once we've got our grindstone chains in place, we can then add 3 spruce stairs on all of the 4 sides, just like I'm doing here. Be sure to shift click on the grindstones, otherwise you're going to open up the GUI. But once we've got them down, we can then come on the inside here and then place 8 more going all the way around to create this shape in the middle here, just like that. And then we can stick a trapdoor in this gap right here. The next thing to do is to grab our spruce planks and add a full block underneath all of the grindstones on each of the corners, and then we're going to add 3 more jutting out by 1 block on all of the sides to create, once we can do the other side over here, this kind of circular shape going all the way around. On each of these corners here with the grindstone, we can have 2 slabs just like this, a spruce trapdoor in the middle, and then 2 full blocks underneath the slabs themselves, and copy it on over to the other 3 sides. We then want to grab our stripped spruce logs here and underneath the spruce trapdoor bring them down by 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 blocks. Underneath the last pillar we can have another spruce trapdoor, and once again we can do that 3 more times. For the bottom part of the base, we're pretty much copying exactly what we've done on the top here, but flipped upside down. So if you feel as though you can copy that over, go on ahead, but if not, I'll walk you through it here. So grab your spruce slabs, and next to the trapdoor, we're going to add in 2 on each of the corners, just like this. And then we can have a full spruce plank in the center block here, and 2 more on top of the slabs themselves on all 4 sides. And then we can go ahead and connect the slabs up with 3 spruce planks in the center. So this block here, connect it up to that one, and then bring it all the way around, going on all 4 sides, and then we should have something that looks a bit like this. Luckily for me, I actually lined up my platform here with the exact bottom of the house, but what we need to do now is add in some upside down stairs. So we're going to have 3 on each of the sides, so it looks a little bit like this, so we can go around and do the other 3 as well. And then if we go inside on the center here, we're going to have a glass floor, which at the moment doesn't look particularly good with the scaffolding, but will make for a pretty sweet view once we've got it out the way. Ignore the glowing crystal in the center of the base. I've just put that there so you guys can actually see what's going on a bit better. But now we're going to add in our window on one of the sides and copy it on over to the remaining 3. So on these 4 blocks here, we're going to have a stair. On the bottom 2, it's going to be an upside down one facing outwards, just like that. And on the top 2, we're going to have a regular stair like so, and connect them all up with some spruce planks. 3 on each of the sides, and then on the front facing block here we can add a trapdoor on both of the sides, and then another one on each of the outside block, leaving the inside one empty for now because we're going to add in a glass window in this 3x3 area. So we've got that. We can now copy it on over to this side, and this side, and maybe get rid of the crystals soon. Something we can go ahead and get rid of is our scaffolding here, because we don't really need it to stand on anymore. We've got a whole house to walk around in, so we can break the bottom block here and watch it all fall down. So satisfying. Now is probably a good time to mention that you're going to need an elytra to get inside this base. Or you could always come to the top of the mountain here and dig your entrance way down like this if you don't have access to an elytra and still want to build this. I do apologize guys, I made a slight mistake with the windows here. These in fact should be glass panes instead of full blocks, but my brain doesn't really recognize these to use them anymore because for some reason they connect all weird and look like this, so I automatically go to the glass blocks instead. But yeah, panes look a lot better and yours shouldn't look all funky like mine do. As you can see, some of them connect very nicely like this, and some of them don't as much. It's a very weird problem that I cannot seem to fix, but now we're going to start work on the inside of the base here. So on each of these top full plank blocks on each of the corners, we can add in a lantern. We've gotten rid of our sea lanterns in the center, so this will light us up nicely. And on these 12 blocks here, going all the way around, we can add in some stairs, upside down of course. Just above each of the windows here, we can add in 3 barrels on all of the 4 sides going across like that for some storage, and then underneath them we can have some spruce trapdoors. I'm placing them in sideways as opposed to that, just I think it looks slightly better. It's a tiny little detail, so it wouldn't really matter if you place them that way, but I prefer it this way for some reason, don't ask why. But then on the top of this block here, we want to add some upside down stairs, 8 of them in each of the corners, just like this. We can also go ahead and break these 8 blocks here, which show through to the outside a little bit, and replace them with some stairs facing this way so it's unrecognizable from the outside and looks a little bit better from the inside. Now let's see to actually getting out of the base. So come to this block here, and we're going to place 1, 2, and 3 trapdoors, flick them all up like so, and then we're going to add in 3 ladders. Now at the moment we can't quite jump to that, but we're going to build something over here which will allow us to do that. But before we do that, I'm going to add in the enchanting table and bookshelf. So the table itself can go in the center here. This is the view, by the way, I was on about. Kind of scary, but also really cool at the same time. Now we're going to cover the enchanting table around with bookshelves, 3 on each of the sides. And on the side where we have our ladder, so you can see we're facing it here, we're going to add 3 more on top of those bookshelves we've already placed down. We are now going to add in our way to leap across to the ladder here, which is also going to serve as our bed. So on these 3 blocks here, we can place in some full spruce planks, and on these 2 blocks is where our bed can go. On the side of that, we can have a stripped oak log, but the variant that has the same texture on all 6 sides. And then we can come around to the sides here and place 2 trapdoors like that and flick them upwards. Same again on over here, and then round the front we can have 3 more. Again, flick them upwards just like that, and this is how we can get up to our bedroom. Of course, it will serve as a functional bed. You will be able to respawn on one of these 2 blocks here, but then we can add in our flower pot and item frame, and of course something to go inside of them. And once we've got all of that built, you can see we can leap across to the ladder to exit our base fairly easily. All that we've got left to do now is place in our survival amenities, so that's basically everything you can see on my hotbar here. And to begin with, we're going to place our furnaces over here, or any of the 3 sides, it doesn't really matter too much. And then over here we can have our crafting block, so crafting table of course very helpful and necessary, but cartography table and loom beside it. I know the smithing table and fletching table do exist, but in the current version of Minecraft of 1.15 they don't have a use. I know they will in the future. For example, smithing table will in 1.16, so say maybe you use that more than the cartography table to make maps. You could always exchange them out for one another, but on the remaining side here we can have our stone cutter, always very helpful, anvil and brewing stand. so that, everybody, is the hanging house all done. This should make for a pretty nice survival home. We've got everything you could need for crafting and smelting and all this other stuff, enchanting, and a wonderful place to rest your head at night. Look at that view. I almost want to go to bed right now, and we've also got this very scary view down below, but I'm really happy with how this turned out. I really like the look of it on the inside and the outside as well. Looks super cool hanging from those grindstone chains up there. Anyway guys, that is going to be it for this video, and I've just had a thought. This would look really cool if you were to build multiple of them all in one area, kind of with a different thing inside each of them. I think that would look awesome. But yeah, as per usual guys, let me know if you are choosing to build this in your world. I do love to hear that. But thank you ever so much for watching. I hope you liked the build and it helped you out, and I will see you next time. Bye for now.